Hi, it's Donna Joy Asher from Living Through Heart, and today I want to talk about being real, like being real with what's inside. And I've just driven down, I'm just actually sitting in my car outside. I'm waiting to go on for a session with one of my beautiful mentors, Georgia Rose, who I do work with. And I was thinking about how powerful being real with what's inside us really is. And how it's only since I've actually started to really be able to tap into what's truly inside me that I've started to have exponential growth and coming into real true happiness and peace inside. And it's still a work in progress, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm all enlightened and just want to sit on a park bench and be in bliss my whole life. I laugh because that's what Eckhart Tolle did. I'm not laughing at Eckhart Tolle, obviously. I laugh because it's a joke that my girlfriend and I have about how when we get enlightened, we're just going to sit on a park bench like Eckhart Tolle did for a couple of years after it happened for him. But yeah, it's not like I'm at that stage yet, that's for sure. But I am definitely in a place of being able to touch joy, which is where I started my journey 5 years ago, was when I couldn't touch joy. I realized I couldn't touch joy. And, you know, we're taught as children and as adults, right? It's kind of like strengthened what we're taught as children by the way people respond when we share something negative. Like, I'm going to go negative with quote marks around it because nothing is negative, right? But when we share something that other people are uncomfortable with, and maybe it's uncomfortable with because they don't have the space to hold it themselves within themselves, right? And they get uncomfortable with what it is that we're showing up with and the way they react to us. And maybe they even say stuff, or maybe they stop contacting us, or they cancel being with us and things like that because they can't hold space for where we're at. And we're taught that it's not okay to be there. It's not okay to be sad. It's not okay to be angry. It's not okay, you know, to have these parts of us. And when we're children, often the parts of us that we're taught are not okay are like the part that's happy, or the part that's creative, or, you know, there's parts of us that, you know, you would think would be okay to have, but they're just not allowed. And we're sometimes punished for them outright, or sometimes we're just rejected for them, and taught through different ways, either through words or the way people are being with us, or energy towards us, that these parts of us are not okay. And we learn not to feel emotions. We learn that it's not, you know, even religion, right? We're taught within religion that we have to be, you know, loving and giving and kind and caring and all these other parts of us, these aspects of us, the angry part, the jealous part, the greedy part, that they're wrong and they're evil. And we learn to actually cut parts of us out and put them over there, and we resist them. And what ends up happening is we just end up squashing ourselves and the wholeness of who we truly are and denying it. And then we wonder why we're not happy. We wonder why we can't create what it is that we want to in our life. We wonder why we're stuck and struggling. We wonder why we're ill, why we're tired, why we can't shut this voice in our head up. We wonder why we have an autoimmune disease. We wonder why we develop cancer. You know, these things that are happening to us within our bodies, because when we deny parts of us and we deny the emotions that that part needs to feel, wants to feel, is actually feeling, we lock it inside ourselves. And there's this energy inside us, this cellular memory of an emotion that needs to be released. And we've frozen around it, we've constricted around it, we've trapped it inside. And for me, I used to, when I used to allow my inner child to reenact or to express in my head, I definitely had some growth, right? Because at that time I wasn't able to be truly present with what was inside myself. So I could allow my inner child to do it, but I would be lying there with my eyes closed, silent, maybe crying, but I wasn't allowed to be angry, right? I definitely wasn't allowed to be angry. And for me, it's only since I've actually started tapping into not just that anger, but a true rage, and releasing that rage, that I've started to have this exponential growth of like coming home to who I am and allowing these parts of me that I had splintered off and sectioned off and denied and not allowed to come home and to be with me. People worry that if they allow their anger, they're going to be an angry person. But the truth is, when we don't allow our anger, we're an angry person. because it's in there inside us all the time, eating away in us, coming out as triggers, and we're passive aggressive, we're resentment. These are all forms of anger, right? We punish people by withdrawing our love or withdrawing our attention the way it probably happened to us when we were children. And these are all ways that we express anger without actually expressing anger, because it's there inside us. Now, I'm not saying that we should be going out and being angry at people, but because when we're angry in the now, it's not really about the now. It's really about us feeling threatened, about us feeling unsafe, right? And that threatened and that unsafety comes from our childhood, from things that we learn to believe about ourselves and how to stay safe in our childhood. So when someone triggers us in this moment, it's normally, well, maybe they've crossed a boundary, transgressed a boundary, and we're right to be angry, but we don't need to take it out on them. We can observe the anger, release it elsewhere, and then come back to them and say, no, this is not okay. I'm in my power. This is not okay that you've done that. But a lot of the times when we're being triggered by someone, it's because what they're showing us, when we're reflecting back to us, is a part of us that we're not allowing. And that part there is the part that we need to go to, and we need to find, and we need to allow them to express what it is in their life that happened, our life, when we were them, and allowing us to channel that through us to start to release this energy inside. And when we do that, when we're really real with what's inside and we really allow it, it's almost like this shattering of this container that we're stuck within. That we're trying to, it's like we're in this container that was kind of, we created, right? 100% responsibility, but we created as a child to stay safe. But it's no longer keeping us safe. Now it's keeping us stuck. Now it's keeping us unhappy. Now it's keeping us sick. And we need to shatter that container. And by going into our real emotions and allowing them, we start to reclaim our power. We start to be who we truly are in our wholeness. And all of these parts of us, all of these aspects of us can come home and we can be whole. And we're no longer looking for what we need in other people. We're no longer expecting other people to make us feel worthy, to make us feel lovable, to make us feel safe. We can let go of all of that stuff from where we're living our life, and we can just be with ourselves in peace, in bliss. And that is such a beautiful place to be. To feel wholeness and to not feel the need for somebody else to complete us, but then instead to be able to be with people because we truly just love them and we truly just enjoy them, and not because of what we're getting for them, not because of what it means about us when they pay us attention. Oh, that is like a whole different experience of being with people and loving people. So if you're thinking about, so you think, oh my God, I really like that, but this is not something, if you've never done it before, it's not something that you're probably going to be able to do yourself, right? Tapping into this sort of emotion, allowing it, releasing it. It's not something that you can do unless you're experienced, because there's a lack of safety in there, right? And it's being able, and a lot of the time it's not, you're not actually even able to get there. You can maybe be a bit sad, you can maybe be a bit frustrated, but to actually get into the core primordial, like, emotions, it's not something you're going to be able to do by yourself initially, right? Until you've learned how to do it, and then it's safe to do it. So if you kind of like are thinking, oh my God, I can't, I wish this voice in my head would stop. I just wish that I could create what I want. Wish I could be happy. I wish I could, if you're stuck in something and you know it's no good for you, but you just can't make yourself take the action that you need to change it. Believe me when I tell you that being real with who you really are and allowing that is what is going to allow you to then take the action that you need to create the life that you want. It's not something that you just do once. It's something that you keep going into and keep going into as you peel back these layers, these resistances, these parts of you that aren't allowed, everything that you've built, created within yourself, hiding these parts of you to stay safe, right? Sectioning out these emotions that you're not allowed. It's a coming home. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's a coming home process that can take some time. So if that's something that you feel like you want to do, listen, I'm creating some stuff for the future. I'm going to be doing more one-on-one space, but also more workshops. So I want you to go to livingthroughheart.com/more information. And I'm going to create that link. And there's going to be a form that you can sign up for, and you're just going to go on a list. And once I have created either more one-on-one time, or I'm going to create workshops that you can come into and be held in a space and go through a process of like women coming back into their power and things like that. Also looking at couples counseling in the future, helping men and women understand each other better and relate to each other better. So if that is something that interests you, go to livingthroughheart.com/more info, fill out that form, and it'll just put you onto a list so that when I have finished completing what it is that I want to do and what it is that I'm bringing to this world through where I'm coming and where I'm going and everything that I'm studying and learning and putting together, then I will email you out and let you know. So I hope that this has given you some food for thought, and I hope that you have an amazing week.